Former Vice President Mike Pence is speaking Tuesday night at the University of Virginia as speculation grows about a potential 2024 presidential run. Pence's speech is titled, "How to Save America from the Woke Left." The location, Charlottesville, Virginia, is also where white nationalists marched in 2017 in the early months of the Trump administration. Former President Trump's response to the event became a political lightning rod. CBS News spoke with longtime UVA professor Larry Sabat about what he hopes to hear from Mr. Pence during the event.
Do you expect the former vice president to address the 2017 white nationalist event here in Charlottesville?
I would love it if he addressed it and denounced it. I suspect he won't, because it would be another break with Trump. I would hope, at the least, that he would mention his opposition to Putin's invasion of Ukraine. I would hope he might mention that he obeyed the Constitution on January 6, 2021.
CBS News chief election and campaign correspondent Robert Costa joins us now from Charlottesville, Virginia. Thanks so much for making some time for us tonight. First, tell us what you're doing there. Of all places, Charlottesville, Virginia, what's the significance of that particular city?
It's good to be with you. There's actually a little bit of news breaking here in the last few minutes from CBS News. We spoke with Mark Short, the longtime advisor to former Vice President Mike Pence, who's speaking here, invited by a conservative group on campus. And nearly 5 years after that tragic white nationalist rally that happened in this town in Virginia, central Virginia, where a woman, Heather Heyer, was killed, Mark Short tells CBS News that the former Vice President Mike Pence went to visit the Heather Heyer Memorial in downtown Charlottesville this afternoon ahead of his speech here at the University of Virginia tonight, where there are some protesters outside. So you see Pence, who may run for president in 2024, visiting the site of this terrible event from 2017, and notably a place where in 2017 then President Trump caused enormous controversy for his own response to the tragedy.
And what do you think that appearance tonight, what do you think this speech tonight and other recent events by former Vice President Pence tells us about the burning question that we keep asking when it comes to him, whether he is or is not going to run in 2024?
It tells us he's certainly moving toward a possible run. You don't do a speaking tour like this to college conservative groups unless you have at least a hint of ambition in your political life. What's also notable here is that it comes amid the ongoing January 6th investigation on Capitol Hill. We asked Mark Short, Pence's closest advisor, will Pence, the former VP, sit down with the January 6th committee? He said it would be extraordinary for a former vice president to be called to testify before a select committee in the House of Representatives about private conversations with the president. And that is a looming question for the January 6th committee. They've spoken with people around Pence, like Mark Short, have not made a decision yet on whether to issue a subpoena for Mike Pence. So Mike Pence, his speech here tonight in Charlottesville, it's notable not just because of the 2024 cloud and the 2022 activity he's involved with as a major Republican, but also the January 6th investigations. They cast their own shadow over this event as well.
And I see some students behind you, some people filling in the seats. Yes. But of course, not everybody on campus there is welcoming him with open arms. Can you tell us about some of the protests that have happened there, what some critics might be saying about his visit tonight?
The campus newspaper here at the University of Virginia has been critical of Pence's visit, saying that having someone like Pence, who served in a high-ranking role in the Trump administration, is, in their words, platforming Pence, giving him a pedestal on which to speak, to promote his own political views. So there's a lot of controversy about having him there. Though some professors and university officials have spoken up in defense of Pence's appearance, citing free speech, and they say that even if they disagree with Pence's political positions, he should have the right to speak here on the grounds, they call it, at the University of Virginia.
Do you have any sense of what he's going to be talking about tonight? In particular, obviously he's taken a very different tone on the January 6th insurrection compared to the former president. Do you expect that will come up in his address tonight?
The January 6 events may come up in the question and answer portion, but based on our reporting at CBS, this will be mostly about his criticism of what he calls the woke crowd. That's his definition of progressives who are battling conservatives on various cultural fronts in this country. He believes, as someone who comes out of the base of the Republican Party in Indiana, who is a House member, a conservative House member, that he can be a spokesman for those who have a right of center or maybe even a hard right of center view on some of these issues that pertain to the culture. It'll be interesting to see tonight how far he wades into that ground. We've seen other rising star Republicans like Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida also use these issues as something that they're putting at the center of their own political careers at this point in time.
All right, we will be watching very closely, and I know you will be too. CBS News Chief Election and Campaign Correspondent Robert Costa, thank you again.
Thank you.